What do you think Dante Pettis is thinking right now? Do you think he's thinking, ha? Or do you think he's just thinking about himself, like, my career is over? Okay, I have a Dante Pettis story. I heard this last night through the DMs. And the person said I could say the story. So after the 2018 season, this is true. You guys are going to love this. After the 2018 season, Dante Pettis was approached by a television producer who specializes in doing reality shows and pitched a reality show to Pettis via DMs on Twitter. Like, hey, your family's famous. You know, your dad's famous. Your brother's an actor in, what is it? You know, soap operas. We think your family would be interesting for a reality show. Apparently, Pettis got back to the dude. And not just like in DMs, like called the guy. And the guy was at his anniversary dinner. And he leaves the restaurant to talk to Pettis. And the conversation goes on for an hour. This is 2019, like off season after Pettis's rookie year. Apparently, Pettis loved the idea of a reality show. Kind of was pitching it as sort of like the Kardashians, except the Pettises. And was pointing out that his sister was kind of a celebrity too because she used to date Deion Jordan. Did you know that? Anyway, the person said that it was clear that Dante Pettis, at least from this person's perspective, had no interest in football. Was asking all kind of questions about how to get into the industry as a writer. Wanted to produce documentaries. And this person said that the conversation went on for an hour, called Pettis back a couple of times after that. Pettis ghosted him. And he said, needless to say, I was not surprised that his football career fell apart. So it seems like what's going on with what happened with Dante Pettis is that he didn't love playing football. After one season in the NFL, he's thinking about how he can be a crossover sensation and get a show on VH1 or E about him and his dad and mom and brother. So that's what I heard. I don't know. Guy said he was on the phone personally with Dante Pettis for an hour and said the guy sounded like an intern, like a kid who's like, what can I do? Dante, I'm telling you, you need to go into sports media and join my team. I don't know about the Pettises. I don't think that show would do that well on VH1 or E. I don't think people really care. You're not good enough. People like Gary Pettis, but he was like a big deal in the 80s. He's also one of the best Oakland athletes of all time. Gary Pettis went to Castlemont. You know, you're just one of these like OC, Laguna Hills, whatever, Laguna Beach guys. Here's the thing that I noticed. I went to school at UCLA and I met a lot of kids from the OC and stuff in LA. From the Bay, like anywhere around the country, most people are into like sports and stuff. They watch ESPN and highlights. That's what I did when I was a kid. You go to LA, everyone watches E. Everyone is into celebrity culture at E. They're like, they don't watch the Dodgers, at least not in West LA. They'll watch the Lakers when they're good. Otherwise, they just watch E, and they're just fascinated by the Kardashians and whoever is on that awful television show. Because I think people just worship the idea of being celebrity down there. I think everyone's like, the highest thing you could achieve in SoCal is to be on E and to get a show like the Kardashians. Everyone wants to be like the Kardashians. That's why all these athletes like keep dating them. I think they feel like there's like a whole different echelon of celebrity you get that when you date a Kardashian. Anyway, Pettis was on that Kardashian thirst. He wanted to transition. And guys, I'm going to be a future executive of the year in the NFL. I'm going to be a GM and probably an owner and a head coach at the same time. And what you got to remember is no matter how athletic a player is like Dante Pettis, if he wants to be a crossover star, don't draft him. Do not draft him, because I never played football, but it looks like it stinks. It looks like it really isn't fun. It hurts. It's a grind. You have to practice 5 days a week with no one watching and go through the bumps and bruises of that just to play once a week and get a little bit of glory. Nah, that looks like it stinks. So you need people who really love it, not people who are like, I'd like to play football and be an actor, because I guarantee being an actor is so much more fun than playing football. And if you have any success being an actor, you just leave football. You know, that was Matt Leinart when he came into the league. He told all the teams, his agent told teams, you know, Matt sees himself as a crossover star. So if you draft him, you have to be willing to let him do commercials and movies and have a Hollywood career. It's like, Matt, you're gonna fail. If that's your attitude, you're never gonna make it in the NFL because you're not that much more talented than some other guy who sees the NFL as his only way to make a living, be a success. There's no crossover, there's no backup plan here. I guess Dante Pettis was working on the backup plan. Nate, I'm thinking we might see some documentaries and the other thing the guy said is that Dante Pettis showed him all his photographs and that they were just like pictures of city skylines. He sees himself, I don't get it, man. He sees himself as this like artist. I think he's just a really good athlete who doesn't want to be an athlete and wants to try other stuff. And athletics came so easy to him. You know, his dad is Gary Pettis. He's the most athletic person at his elementary school, middle school, high school, college. It's so easy. He gets to the NFL. He's not the most athletic player on his team. Far from it. Now he has to fight to improve and to prove himself. And it's like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to try something else and hope it comes as easy to me as athletics did at first. Like, I'm going to try writing. No, Dante, it's really hard writing. It's really hard. You got to do it every day. And even if you do it every day, you're still going to stink at it. Yeah. I love when people quit stuff and they're like, I'll just be a writer. I'm going to write a book. Oh, that's easier than what you were just trying to do? You flopped in the NFL, so now you're going to write a memoir about how you flopped? No, that's hard too. I bet your memoir is going to be worse than your NFL career. I'm telling you, as someone who writes, you write something right now, I bet you won't get 8 words out. It produces anxiety. How do I start? What's my transition? Do I edit this? And now he wants to be a photographer? I couldn't even start. I'm afraid to start an Instagram account because my pictures stink. I still don't have Instagram. So why are we talking about Dante Pettis?